back to Duke Rehab to Performance. We're working this continuum of learning to control that pelvic dissociation, which we see in all our sports, running, hiking, throwing. We have Garrett in this half kneeling position here, and I want to talk about one more part with this. So with this exercise and this position, we're really training the pelvis, and in particularly the down side of the leg. So we talked about in the other video making sure that at any point he's able to raise this leg off without having to shift his weight a whole lot. So these exercises are great, but we want to make sure that as he's doing things like we saw in the other video with the halos, that we're not seeing a lot of quad firing here, because he's trying to use his quad for some stability. So in order to help change that, you can do a couple things. To make it a little bit easier, I'll just have Garrett get a little wider base or have his slide his foot out. So that way it's easier on that hip. To make it a little bit more challenging, we have him narrow it up a little bit. Where your client needs to go depends on when you're not seeing those deviations. You want to make sure it's challenging, but that they're successful. So I'm going to have Garrett go a little wider here, and we're going to work on learning how to control that pelvis while the trunk is actually rotating. So I'm going to have Garrett go ahead and grab the kettlebell. We're going to start with the arm in a rack position here, and it's going to be on the same side of the leg that's down. Makes it a little bit easier throughout the trunk for stability. So all Garrett's going to do here is he's going to rotate over as far as he can. You're making sure that the pelvis doesn't really move because you're looking at trunk rotation. So there should be no deviation here, and you shouldn't see his knee going any valgus or varus there. And then he's going to rotate the other direction as far as he can, keeping that nice stable pelvis. Excellent. To make this a little bit more challenging, he's going to go into the overhead position. Requires a lot more thoracic stability while still maintaining some mobility. So you will see a slight decrease in the amount that they can rotate because it's a lot harder on the thoracic spine. To make it even a little bit more challenging here, I actually had to have him go on the opposite side. So now we're working that sling a little bit more. We really got the glutes involved on this side, and we're getting that posterior sling here. So I'm going to have him go into that overhead position here, and it'll be the same thing, working that rotation, controlling that pelvis, making sure you're not seeing any compensations at the knee. That's the harder one. Let's say he's having a little bit of trouble with this, we can bring it down to the rack position, and now make it a little bit easier to start there. Really cueing in on breathing here. You'll notice as they start to turn, they get to their end range, they're going to stop breathing. They're trying to fake stability. So you can have Garrett, as he gets to the end, take a couple deep breaths, make sure he's getting that diaphragmatic breathing going on.